last week we went through the Paticca-samuppada or dependent origination pretty fast. And I hope you know what Paramattha Dhammas are represented by the factors, what are represented by avijja, sankhara, and so on. Now this week we'll go through it again, studying the relationship between these factors, but not in great detail, just to have a glimpse of it. Now, we as non-arhants acquire kusala or akusala. Sometimes we do kusala and sometimes we do akusala. And we do kusala and akusala and we acquire kusala karma and akusala karma because we have not yet got rid of ignorance. Ignorance means not understanding the Four Noble Truths, not understanding the true nature of things. So since the ignorance covers the true nature of things, we do not see true nature, and so motivated by this avijja or ignorance, we do sometimes wholesome actions and sometimes unwholesome actions. So our actions or our karma are conditioned by ignorance or avijja. Actually, avijja is not the only condition, because there are other conditions too, but avijja is the chief condition of sankharas to arise, and so here ignorance is given as a condition for sankharas or kusala and akusala karma. And when we do kusala karma, this kusala karma is conditioned by avijja, but avijja and kusala karma do not arise at the same time. So when we do kusala karma, avijja is not concomitant with kusala karma, but it is latent in our mental continuum. So because of its latency, we do kusala and akusala. Now here we do kusala. But when we do akusala, avijja is concomitant with it, right? When we have lobha mula ceta or dosa mula ceta, moha is also concomitant there. So in that case, the relationship between avijja and sankhara is said to be connascent. That means they exist at the same time, and then avijja conditioned sankhara. If it is kusala, the relationship is not coexisting, but it is latent, avijja is latent, and so avijja is a condition for sankhara by way of decisive support. And when we do kusala or akusala, as the result of kusala and akusala, we will get rebirth in a happy state or in woeful states. So, as a result of kusala and akusala, which are sankhara, there is the patisandhi, there is rebirth. Now, here in the second link, vijnana only is taken as the conditioned state. So here sankhara and vijnana, or kusala and akusala karma on the one hand, and resultant consciousness on the other. They are related by way of karma. Here, the relationship is between cause and effect. Now, when people read about or think about paticca samuppada, most people think that these factors are linked as cause and effect, cause and effect. So A is the cause of B, B is cause of C, C is cause of D, and so on. And the cause they take to be to mean something that produces. But actually, some links are not cause and effect in the strict sense of the word. That's why we use the word condition. So when avidya and sankhara, akusala sankhara arise, they arise together, and so one is conditioned and the other is conditioned. But when we come to the second link, sankhara paccaya vijnana, it is not coexisting. Sankhara were acquired in a past time, and then vijnana is, let us say, the present. So here relationship is real cause and effect. And vijnana can mean here vipaka cetas. So both at patisandhi and during life, or both at patisandhi and pavati. We have the Pali word pavati, say, for life. Now when patisandhi occurs, what are there at the moment of patisandhi? Patisandhi consciousness, cetasikas going along with it, and matter born of karma, right? So when patisandhi vijnana or patisandhi citta arises, there are cetasikas, and there are rupas born of karma. Cetasikas are called here nama, the third link. Vijnana paccaya nama rupa. So here the relationship between patisandhi citta and its cetasikas is also co-nascent or coexisting. They arise or they exist at the same time, and actually they support each other. And at the moment of patisandhi there is hadayavatu, right? The heart base. So heart base and vijnana also condition each other. So vijnana to nama, vijnana to rupa. And then, right, and also vijnana to rupa other than heart base. So they are related mostly by way of co-nascence, sahajata, especially during the time of moment of patisandhi. Now, among rupa, there is heart base, and there are other material properties. And then later on, the eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, and so on arise. So, when we come to the next link, Nama rupa paccaya salayatana. We can study the relationship between these by taking nama to be cetasikas. Cetasikas that arise with arupa vachara patisandhi. So at the moment of arupa vachara patisandhi, there are arupa vachara vipaka citta and cetasikas only, right? So these cetasikas are nama here. And patisandhi citta is base, mind base. So nama to mind base. And what is the type of relationship? Again, arising at the same time, right? In Pali, sahajata, connaissance. And also, the cetasikas concomitant with resultant consciousness. In that case, during life. In that case, also, cetasikas are nama. And citta is sixth base, mind base. So, nama to mind base. Now, at the moment of patisandhi, there is heart base, right? So, heart base to patisandhi citta. That means rupa to sixth base, rupa to mind base, right? And both at patisandhi and pavati, the four essentials, the earth element and so on, are conditioned for I base and so on. Because I base and so on are upada-rupa, right? Depending matter. And so they depend on the four essentials. So the four essentials are here rupa, and eye sensitivity and so on are eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base and body base. So in that case, the relationship is arising together and also support relationship, support condition. And also at the moment of patisandhi, there are cetasikas and there is heart base. So we take cetasika and heart base as nama and rupa. And nama rupa to the patisandhi citta. Connaissance and so on, right? So these are the relationship we can understand between these in these links. Okay, the next link is between six bases and phassa. Because you have the eye, there is the contact with the object, right? So the eye base is the base, and the contact which arises through the eye base is phassa. So eye base to phassa. Phassa arising out of let's say eye. So ear base to ear phassa, nose base to nose phassa, tongue base to tongue phassa, body base to body phassa. And then the sixth base, mind base. Mind base to phassa. Mind base means citta, and phassa is the cetasika going along with it. And so mind base to phassa, connaissance and others, right? Yeah. And then here, the external bases are also taken. In the previous link, only internal bases are taken. But here, external bases are also taken. So you see something, and you see a visible object. That visible object is rupa base, right? And the contact that arises through rupa base and the eye is the phassa. So here, rupa base to phassa. Here, what relationship? It takes as an object, right? So object condition, and also it depends upon it. So support condition. So later on you will understand after you have studied Patthana. So the 6 bases are conditioned for the context that arises out of coming together of the bases and objects and consciousness, right? Phassa is explained as something that comes out of the coming together of the 3, right? And the 3 means the senses, the objects, and consciousness. Now, when there is phassa, when there is contact with the object, there is also the experience of the object. And so that experience is what we call vedana, feeling. Pleasant or unpleasant or neutral feeling. So, vedana is conditioned by phassa. When there is no phassa, there can be no vedana. Okay, vedana, then phassa and vedana, how are they related? Cognizance. They arise at the same time. And then, next link is vedana to tanha, right? Yeah, vedana to tanha. So, when there is a pleasant feeling, you like the pleasant feeling, whereas unpleasant feeling, you want to get out of unpleasant, like the pleasant, want to get the pleasant feeling, and the neutral feeling is also very attractive, and so you can have attachment for neutral feeling. And so, phassa is vedana is a condition for tanha, attachment. Here, vedana is a condition for tanha. First, you experience the object, and next, you are attached to it. So here, the relationship is not cognizance. They arise at the same time, but vedana, which arises simultaneously with tanha, is not the condition of that tanha. The previous vedana is the condition of that tanha. So here relationship is not cognizance, but it is called upanisya, decisive support. Next is between tanha and upadana, clinging. Now with regard to tanha, craving is not so strong attachment, right? Not so strong lobha, and clinging is strong lobha. Here also, first you have not so strong lobha, and then you have strong lobha. So they do not coexist. One conditions the other after some time. So here also relationship is upanisya. Relationship is decisive support. And then craving to other 3 clingings. The other 3 clingings are in reality deity, right? Here, craving and deity can be cognizant as well as the decisive support. So craving to sense desire, craving, there is only decisive support. But craving to deity, there can be decisive support and also cognizance and others. So they are related in this way. Next link is between clinging and becoming. Becoming here means there are two kinds of becomings, right? Kama bhava and upapati bhava. Kama bhava means chetana. So it is the same as sankhara. And upapati bhava means rebirth. So both are conditioned by clinging. So when clinging is a condition for bhava, it can be decisive support, right? Or if the clinging conditions the akusala karma bhava, then it is cognizance and others, right? Yeah. So when we have clinging, sense desire, clinging, or the other false view clinging. So when we have clinging, we do something depending upon that clinging. So when we do something, we acquire what is called karma bhava. And also this clinging by way of decisive support produces rupa bhava and so on. And then next one is bhava to jati. Now here bhava means karma bhava only, not upapati bhava, because upapati bhava and jati are the same. So upapati bhava cannot be the condition for itself. So here bhava means karma bhava. So karma bhava to jati. This link is more or less the same as sankhara paccaya vijnana. Sankhara to vijnana. And that is karma bhava to rebirth. Karma bhava to jati is by way of karma and also by way of upanisaya, decisive support. Then next link is between jati and jara marana, rebirth and aging and death. And that is upanisaya condition, upanisaya relationship. Because their aging and death are the inevitable results of or consequences of rebirth. When there is rebirth, there will always be aging and death. So we cannot avoid aging and death if we have rebirth. So they are the definite or unavoidable consequences of jati. Now the others, soka, parideva and so on, sorrow, lamentation and so on, they are also consequences of jati, but they are not unavoidable. Sometimes they may not arise. For example, if a person takes patisandhi and dies, say, very fast, dies immediately, then he may not experience soka, parideva and so on. So soka, parideva and so on are consequences of birth, but they are not unavoidable consequences, and so they are put together separately. Jati paccaya jara maranam, that is one part, and then soka, parideva, dukkha, domanassa, ubayasa, the others. So soka, parideva and others are not included in the factors of, included in the 12 factors of dependent origination, because they are not not the inevitable results of or inevitable consequences of jati. Now, we need to understand soka, paridiva, and so on. Soka is translated as sorrow. So what is sorrow? Sorrow is domanassa feeling concomitant with two dosa mula cetas. Next one is parideva, lamentation, crying. When you cry, you make sound, right? So parideva is defined as a sound caused by citta, a distorted sound caused by citta. So parideva is not nama. Parideva is rupa. Among 28 rupas there is sound, right? Sabda. Then next is dukkha, bodily pain. Bodily pain really means feeling concomitant with kaya vijnana, accompanied by dukkha, right? And domanassa, mental pain. It is feeling concomitant with two dosa mula cetas. So it is, according to Paramattha-dhamma, it is the same as soka, but their way of happening is different. And then the last one is, in Pali, upayasa. So upayasa is a burning in the mind, actually. So anguish caused by excessive domanassa. And this is identified with dosa, concomitant with two dosa mula cetas. So once again, soka is identified with domanassa vedana, right? So soka is vedana, domanassa vedana, concomitant with two dosa mula cetas. Parideva, lamentation, crying, is identified with sound. It is called distorted sound caused by citta. And then dukkha, bodily pain, is identified with dukkha vedana, right? Dukkha feeling. Dukkha feeling means feeling concomitant with kaya vijnana accompanied by dukkha. And domanassa, grief or mental pain, is identified with vedana in two dosa mula cetas. Domanassa vedana. And then upayasa, burning in mind or despair, as they translate it now. So upayasa is identified with dosa, not vedana, right? Dosa concomitant with two dosa mula cetas. Okay. So this whole mass of dukkha arises. Here whole mass, whole means not mixed with sukha. So there is only dukkha in these 12 links or in this paticca-samuppada. So whatever there is dukkha because they have the beginning and an end, and so they are oppressed by rising and disappearing. Now this is the anuloma, paticca-samuppada in anuloma order. That means in ordinary order. The reverse order is hinted later. So the manual does not give the reverse order of Paticcasamuppada in this chapter. It just hinted. We'll go to that later. Okay, now there are some things we should understand about Paticcasamuppada. So, in the manual, on page 299, the first paragraph, it should be understood that there are 3 periods. So we must understand 3 periods, 12 factors, 20 modes, 3 connections, 4 groups, 3 rounds, and 2 routes. We'll go to the factors first. 12 factors. Now you know the 12 factors, right? So in Pali, what are they? Avijja, Sankhara, Vijnana, Nama Rupa, Salayatana, Phassa, Vedana, Tanha, Upadana, Bhava, Jati, Jaramarana. Jaramarana are 1, no? Jaramarana. So these are called 12 factors. So sometimes Paticcasamuppada is described as the teaching which has 12 factors. Okay. After we understand the 12 factors, we must understand the three periods. So you may read the 3 periods now. How? Ignorance and karmic formations belong to the past. So the first 2, avijja and sankhara, belong to the past period. Birth and decay and death belong to the future. Jati, jaramarana. They belong to the future period. The intermediate 8 factors belong to the present. So the 8 are Vijnana, Nama Rupa, Salayatana, Phassa, Vedana, Tanha, Upadana, and actually Kama Bhava. So there are three periods. So avijja and sankhara are the past. Vijnana, Nama Rupa, Salayatana, Phassa, Vedana, Tanha, Upadana, Kama Bhava, present, and Upapati Bhava actually, Jati and Jaramarana, future, right? So that is why it is said that Paticcasamuppada covers 3 lives.
Future.
They are both present and future. So the middle 8 belong to present, and the last 3 belong to future, and the first 2 belong to past. So it is said that Paticcasamuppada covers 3 lives. Now, we are not to understand that in the present life we experience only vijnana and so on until Kama Bhava. Right? We have avijja, and we do kusala and akusala. So we experience sankhara also. And since we had jati at the beginning of this life, we have jara, and we will have marana. Right? So, all 12 factors can be found in one life, one single life. We don't have to go to 3 lives to find these. But here, in this teaching, if we take these links as one one linking to another, continuous linking, then we say Paticca-samuppada covers 3 lives. Now, avijja and sankhara we experience in this life will be past when we reach next life, right? Then next life become present. So, the avijja and sankhara we experience in this life will be past for the next life, which will become present. So in that case, it goes on and on and on like that. So, we do not say that avijja and sankhara are always in the past and not of the present, right? Because we know that we experience avijja and sankhara and others. So, although we say that Paticca-samuppada covers 3 lives, we do not say, or we are not to understand that we experience only 8 factors in this life and not the other factors. Because as we know, we experience all these factors in one single life. So in the manual it is said that when the 12 factors are divided into 3 periods of time, this should be seen as a mere expository device for exhibiting the causal structure of the round of existence. It should not be taken to imply that the factors assigned to a particular temporal period operate only in that period and not on other occasions. In fact, the 12 factors are always present together in any single life, mutually implicative and interpenetrating, as section 7 below will demonstrate. So we'll come to that. So these are the three periods: past, present, and future. And then what? 20 modes, 3 connections, and 4 groups. Now, please turn to page 300. Now, here, by taking ignorance and karmic formations, by taking avijja and sankhara, craving, clinging, and existence are also taken. That means tanha, upadana, and kamabhava are also taken. Likewise, by taking craving, clinging, and existence, ignorance and karmic formations are also taken. By taking birth and decay and death, the 5 effects, consciousness and so on, are also taken. So in order to understand this, we must go to 3 rounds first. Or you look at this, the handout, today's handout. So we must understand the 3 rounds, which are called vata in Pali. 3 rounds means rolling on and on and on, cause, effect, again, cause, effect, and so on. So it is called vata. Now, avijja belongs to what round? Kilesa vata, defilement round. And sankhara belongs to kamma vata, so round of kamma. And vijnana, nama, rupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana belong to vipaka vata. They are resultants. They are results of sankharas. And then tanha belongs to kilesa vata. Upadana also belongs to kilesa vata. And kamma bhava belongs to kamma vata. Upapati bhava belongs to vipaka vata. Jati belongs to vipaka vata. And jara-marana belongs to vipaka vata. Okay. Now, if you take something which is kilesa vata, or one thing which is kilesa vata, you have to take the other that belong to kilesa vata also. That means when I say avijja, you must understand that I mean not only avijja, but also tanha and upadana, because they belong to the same vata, same round. It is like they are connected with the thread or something. So you pick up avijja and the other two also go with it, right? And also you pick up tanha, upadana, and you pick up avijja also. So, by taking ignorance and karmic formations, craving, clinging, and existence are also taken. So you take avijja and you also take tanha and upadana. And you take sankhara and you also take kama bhava. So, although there are only two causes in the past, actually there are how many causes? Avijja, tanha, upadana, sankhara, kama bhava. Right? So there are actually 5 causes in the past, although only 2 are mentioned in the formula. And they are called 5 past causes. Then vijnana, nama, rupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana. They belong to vipaka vata. Now, there is nothing to say about them, right? So you take vijnana, nama, rupa, salayana, phassa, and vedana, just that. So they are 5 results in the present. So they are the result of avijja and sankhara, especially sankhara in the past. Then next, tanha, upadana, kama bhava. When we take tanha and upadana, we must also take avijja. And when we take kama bhava, we must also take sankhara, because they belong to the same vata, that is kama vata. So, belonging to the same vata determines which are to be taken also. Okay, so although there are only 3 causes in the present mentioned in the formula, actually there are how many causes in the present? Tanha, upadana, avijja, kama bhava, sankhara. 5 causes. So, there are 5 causes in the present, although only 3 are mentioned in the formula. And then, upapati bhava, jati, jara, marana. Now, jati and jara and marana, they are not enumerated separately among the 20 modes, because they are characteristics of mind and matter, not ultimate realities. Actually, jati is the arising of vijnana, nama, rupa, salayana, phassa, vedana. Jara is the decay of these 5, and marana is the death of or disappearance of these 5. So actually, jati, jara, and marana are not exact ultimate realities, but they are the different conditions of the 5 vijnana and so on, which are ultimate realities. So when we say jati, jara, marana, we mean vijnana and so on. Because without vijnana and so on, there can be no jati, jara, marana. Who's jati, right? Who's jara? Who's marana? So when we say, or when we take jati, jara, and marana, we must take vijnana and others. So here also, only 2 or 3 results in the future are given in the formula. Actually, there are 5 results in the future, and these 5 are vijnana, nama, rupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana. Right? So, how many causes are in the past?
5 causes.
5 causes. How many results in the present? Five results. And how many causes in the present? 5. And how many results in the future? 5. Right. So if we add all these 5 together, all these 5s together, we get 20. So they are called 20 modes. So once again, 20 modes. 5 causes in the past, 5 results in the present, 5 causes in the present, and 5 results in the future. The 5 causes in the past: avijja, saṅgaha, tanha, upadana, kama bhava. Right? And 5 results in the present: vijnana, nama rupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana. 5 causes in the present: tanha, upadana, kama bhava, avijja, and saṅgaha. And 5 results in the future: vijnana, nama rupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana. So these 20 are called 20 modes. And then next is what? 3 connections. 3 connections. Past causes, between past causes and present results. 1 connection. Between present results and present causes. 2nd connection. Between present causes and future results. 3rd connection. So there are 3 connections. And there are 3 connections, and those that are connected are 4. Right? Present causes, present results. Past causes, present results, present causes, future results. So these are the 4, what is called there? 4 groups. So 4 groups. 4 groups are connected in 3 places. So between saṅgaha and vijnana is 1 connection, and between vedana and tanha, the 2nd connection, and between bhava and jati, or to be exact, between kama bhava and upapati bhava or jati. That is another connection. So there are 3 connections in this round of rebirth. 3 rounds or 2 routes. And there are 2 routes, and they are avijja and tanha. So avijja and tanha are called roots of samsara, because they are the chief causes, chief conditions for this round of rebirth to go on and on and on. So long as there is avijja and tanha, there will be going on and on and on in this samsara, and so they are called vatta mula, the roots of the round of rebirth. And we can divide the Paticca-samuppada into 2 parts. The first part is past causes and present results, and the second part is present causes and future results. So in the first part, avijja is the chief, and in the second part, tanha is the chief. Avijja blindfolds you, and tanha push you forward, right? So long as these 2 are there, we'll be going on and on and on. So they are called here vatta mula. Ignorance is called the root from the past extending into the present, which reaches its culmination in feeling, so until vedana. Craving is called the root from the present extending into the future, which reaches its culmination in jara and marana. So They are called 2 Vatamulas. Those who have eradicated these 2 Vatamulas are those who are arahants. Now, so on this chart, I use different fonts, different types, so that you can easily see, right? So, avijja, tanha and upadana in one type, sankhara and kamabhava, another type, and vijnana, etc., and upabadipa, etc., another type, so that you can see it clearly. Or you may use colors if you want to. Just put the colors. Now, by the destruction of these roots, the round ceases. Now I'm reading section 10. By the destruction of these roots, the round ceases. So this is a hint for the reverse order of Paticca-samuppada. Due to the total cessation of avijja, there is cessation of sankhara. Due to the total cessation of sankhara, there is the cessation of vijnana and so on. So in Pali, it is avijja, yattva, asesa, viraga, nirodha, sankhara, nirodha, and so on. So the author of the manual did not give this formula in full, but we can understand just from this statement that by the destruction of these roots, the round ceases. So when there is no avijja, there can be no sankhara. That is why arahants do not acquire sankharas. They may do good deeds, but they do not acquire kusala. So when there is no avijja, there can be no tanha. But tanha and avijja, you know that tanha and avijja arise together, or in most cases, tanha and avijja arise together. So, due to the cessation of or disappearance of avijja and sankhara, vijja and tanha, the others also cease. So this is the patiloma, paticca-samuppada. That is, it is called the reverse order. But reverse does not mean going backward, but reverse means in the order of cessation. The anuloma is in the order of arising. So order of arising and order of cessation. Okay, now avijja is said to be the cause of, or avijja is put at the beginning of this teaching of Paticca-samuppada. So people want to know what conditions avijja, right? So the manual says, with the arising of the taints or asavas in those who are constantly oppressed by infatuation with decay and death, ignorance again occurs. Now, beings are oppressed by decay and death. We are always oppressed by aging, right? We are always getting old, second by second. And one day, we will die. So when we are oppressed by this aging and death, we are sorry. Sometimes we may cry, or we have mental grief and so on. So when we experience these states, we are said to be experiencing the asavas. How many asavas are there? 4 asavas, right? What are the 4? Kama, bhavasava, ditthi asava, avijja asava, right? So 4 asavas, in reality 3. Okay, so when we experience soka, parideva and so on, due to jara and marana, we experience asavas. And there is avijja or moha among the asavas, right? So when you are oppressed by decay and death, and we suffer soka and so on, then there is avijja. And when there is avijja, there is sankhara and so on and so on. So avijja is said to be conditioned by asavas. In the explanation given in guide to section 10, in the Sammaditthi Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, the Venerable Sariputta is asked to explain the cause of ignorance, and he replies that ignorance arises from the taints or from asavas. So, from the arising of asavas, there is the arising of avijja, ignorance. When he is asked to state the cause of the taints, he replies that the taints arise from ignorance. So, A conditions B and B conditions A, like mutual conditioning. Since the most fundamental of the taints is the taint of ignorance, so ignorance is the most fundamental of the asavas. The Venerable Sariputta's statement implies that the ignorance in any given existence arises from the ignorance in the preceding existence. So that is implication. Sariputta did not say expressly. This in effect establishes the round of becoming as beginningless, since any instance of ignorance always depends on a preceding life in which ignorance was present, entailing an infinite regression. So that is why there can be no beginning. So long as we accept the conditioned nature of things, we cannot get to the first cause. We cannot get to the beginning. So, and it is the Buddha, only the Buddha who pointed out that there can be no beginning of this round of rebirth. But we with our small mind always think, oh, there must be a beginning. But so long as we accept the law of karma, so long as we accept the law of cause and effect, there can be no beginning, right? So you may go on and on and on to infinity, but still there it will go on. So there is no beginning, so beginningless. But there can be an end to this round of rebirths, right? When one becomes an arahant or a Buddha and dies as an arahant or a Buddha, then this round of rebirth or samsara is finished, cut off. So avijja, ignorance arises conditioned by asavas. And asavas arise when we experience soka, parideva and so on, being oppressed by jara and marana. And so when there is jara marana, there is jadi at its condition and so on and so on. Okay. Now the great sage has thus expounded this entangled beginningless round of becoming with its three planes as dependent arising. So this, the Buddha said that this is paticca samuppada. And this paticca samuppada is a vata, going round and round and round. And it is entangled. That is one connected with one factor connected with the other. And it belongs to the three planes, Kamavachara plane, Rupavachara plane, and Arupavachara plane. It does not belong to Lokuttara plane. And it has no beginning. And that is what is said here. And this Buddha or the great sage expounded as dependent origination. So dependent origination is an entangled round of, say, 12 factors, and there can be no beginning to this round, and this round belongs to the 3 planes, 3 mundane planes. So this is Paticca Samuppada. Now let us look at the chart. I think you already look at the chart, right? So I think first avijja, right? Where is avijja? It's at the top, number 1. And then sankhara. So, and between sankhara and vijnana, there is one connection, right? Connection. One connection. Right. And then vijnana, namarupa, salajatana, phassa, vedana. So they are the present results. And then between vedana and tanha is another connection. Yeah. And then tanha, upadana, kama bhava and upapati. And between kama bhava and upapati bhava, or between bhava and jati, is one connection. And then upapati bhava, or jati, jara, marana. And then when we are oppressed by jara and marana, we experience soka, pritha, and so on, and so there are asavas, and among them there is avijja, and so go on and on and on. Now, when we practice vipassana meditation, we try to cut this round. We try to cut this link. So, what link is it that we try to cut? Between which and which? Between Vedana and Tanha. So, when there is phassa, there will be Vedana. You cannot avoid having Vedana if there is phassa. But after experiencing Vedana, you can do something so that you do not get Tanha. So when you do not get Tanha, then the Paticca Samuppada is cut off for you with regard to that object. So you experience an object, and you experience, say, sukha vedana or dukkha vedana or upekkha vedana, and you are mindful of the vedana, and you do not get tanha. So if you do not get tanha, then the dependent origination stops there, and it doesn't go on to tanha and so on. So it is the only place, say, we can make it break, and it is to effect this break that we practice vipassana meditation. So vipassana meditation can help us to break this wheel of existence, or this round of rebirth. You understand the other ones too? When you take avijja, you also take tanha and upadana, right? When you take avijja, you take tanha and upadana also. And when you take tanha and upadana, you take avijja also. And when you take sankhara, you take kama bhava also. And when you take kama bhava, you take sankhara also. And when you take jati, jara, marana, that means you take the vijnana and so on. So now we come to the end of the round of rebirth. I mean, we come to the study of the end of round of rebirth. Okay. Next section is Patthana section. It's very difficult. if we want to study it comprehensively, it is difficult. But if we want to study just as it is given in the manual, it may not be too difficult. But you need to be familiar with the previous chapters. So we'll have to find out which Paramattha Dhammas are represented by, say, root cause, root condition, which are represented by Aramana condition, and so on. So we'll try to as much as possible, we'll try to study those. And I'll give you a complete, it is given here also, the chart. So, and then after the Patthana section, we will go back to Paticcasamuppada and see how Paticcasamuppada can be understood with reference to Patthana also. Only when you understand Paticcasamuppada with reference to Patthana do you understand Paticcasamuppada fully. Otherwise, your understanding is not complete. So it is important that you first be familiar with Patthana, and then we will go back to Paticcasamuppada and try to see the relationships with reference to Patthana. And they are taken from the commentaries of Visuddhimagga and Vibhanga commentary. Although you may not be familiar with everything that is given, still if you have the notes, I think you can refer to them every time you want. Okay.